Whatever the services which is provided by A Limited, the people are not aware of it. Goodwill means the good name or the reputation earned by the firm through hard work and honesty of its owners. The term goodwill is generally used to denote the benefit arising from connections and reputations. Hello everyone, I am Harshita, lecturer, Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. My dear students, today I am going to discuss your fifth session on Unit 1, that is Final Accounts of Partnership Firm, and this is for second sem B.B.A students of Mysuru University, and the subject name is Financial Accounting and Reporting. So, in your previous session, we have completely discussed about 15 marks question, what they'll ask in your question paper, that is on Final Accounts of Partnership Firm, where you have to prepare trading account, profit and loss appropriation account, partners capital account and balance sheet. In today's session, we shall continue with the next concept of this particular unit, that is goodwill. Now, what do you mean by goodwill? So, already you have studied few of the concepts of goodwill in your second PUC, where when a new partner enters into a partnership firm, he brings some amount as capital, along with that extra amount which is bought by the new partner, which is called as goodwill. And that goodwill used to distribute to the remaining partners. Why to the remaining partners? Because when a new partner enters into a partnership firm, these old partners will sacrifice their share of profit to the new partner. For that reason, when a new partner gets admitted into a partnership firm, he brings some amount as goodwill, or it is also called as premium for goodwill. Now, let us see what is this goodwill, or before going to the meaning of goodwill, I'll give an example here. So, there are two firms, that is A Limited and B Limited. So, these two firms are undertaking a similar type of business activity. So, let us take automobile business. Okay, so A Limited and B Limited, there are two firms which are located in the same locality and they are manufacturing this automobile, or the business of these two firms are automobile. Now, A Limited is quite new to the market. So, for example, it is there from just 1 year, whereas B Limited, it is there from 20 years. Now, suppose if A Limited and B Limited profits are being compared, then normally what happens? B Limited profit will be more than A Limited. So, there is a reason for this. Now, suppose A Limited earns a profit of rupees 5 lakh and B Limited earns a profit of rupees 7 lakh. Now, this is 5 lakh and extra 2 lakh what it earns. So, it is because of, what would be the reason? Because A Limited, I have told you, it is there from just 1 year, and whatever the services which is provided by A Limited, the people are not aware of it. But when compared to your B Limited, since it is there from 20 years who is rendering service to the people, and people or the public are aware about the product which is produced by B Limited and what are the services which are provided by B Limited. For that reason, it is earning extra profit in a particular month. Suppose if you take a profit of a particular month, so B Limited is earning more. It is because of that, that is, it is familiar to the public. So, that extra goodwill, or the extra profit, what has been earned by B Limited, it is called as what? Goodwill. Now, this 5 lakh is called as what? Normal profit. Over and above the normal profit, that is this 2 lakh, what it is going to earn, so this is called as what? Goodwill. So, what do you mean by goodwill? So, goodwill is a name, fame or reputation of the business through which the business is earning extra profit than your normal profit, that is called as what? Goodwill. So, the reason is simple. It is just because people are aware about the product of B Limited than that of A Limited. So their sales is also more. At the same time, their demand in the market is also more, and they are familiar to the public. So for that reason, it is earning extra 2 lakh. So that over and above the normal profit, that is known as what? Goodwill. So hope you have understood this simple example here. Now let us see what is the meaning of goodwill. Goodwill means the good name or the reputation reputation earned by the firm through hard work and honesty of its owners. There are several reasons where they are going to earn more than your normal profit, but time being you remember, goodwill means what? Name, fame or reputation of the business through which the business is going to earn over and above the normal profit or the extra profit than your normal profit is called as what? Goodwill. If a firm renders good service to the customers who feel satisfied will come again and again, and the firm will be able to earn more profit in the future. Of course, when an organization renders quality service to its customer or when an organization gives quality products to its customers, of course, the demand for the product of that particular organization will be more when compared to others. So that extra benefit, what they are going to get through the innovation of a particular organization. So that is known as what? Goodwill. Thus, goodwill is a value of the reputation of a firm which enables it to earn higher profit in comparison to the normal profit earned by the other firms in the same trade. So, this would be the best example here. So, this 5 lakh will be the normal profit, and over and above the normal profit, what they are going to earn through the reputation or name, fame of the business is called as goodwill. Now, let us see the definition of goodwill. Hope you have understood the meaning of goodwill. So, what you have to remember? Goodwill means name, fame or reputation of the business through which if an organization of a similar trade earning more than the normal profit than the other firm, it is called as what? Goodwill. Now, let us see a simple definition which is given by Lord Lindley. The term goodwill is generally used to denote the benefit arising from connections and reputations. So, when you hear the word goodwill, just remember the word reputation, name, fame of the business. So, through which they are going to earn extra profit, that is called as what? Goodwill. Okay, so this was a simple definition which is given by Lord Lindley. So, hope you are clear about the meaning as well as definition of goodwill. Now, moving on to the next concept, characteristics or features of goodwill. Now, the first one is it is an intangible asset. Now, of course, so what is the meaning of intangible? Which can be just be felt, not seen, or even we cannot touch as well as see that particular asset. We can just feel that asset. Okay, now goodwill would be the best example for intangible asset where we can just feel the reputation of the business. We can't touch as well as see the reputation. We can just feel the reputation through which they are going to earn the extra profit in the market. So goodwill belongs to the category of intangible assets such as patents, trademarks, copyrights. So goodwill is what? It is an intangible asset. Just like your patents, trademarks and copyright, it is an intangible asset. It does not suffer wear and tear, and as such, the question of depreciation does not arise on it as in case of other assets. Now, suppose if you take any other fixed assets like land, building, furniture, machinery, so all these value goes on decreasing year after year, or through usage of time or through the passage of time, the value of an asset goes on decreasing, which is called as depreciation. But in case of this goodwill, which is an intangible asset, there is no question of wear and tear of the asset. So, there is no word called depreciation in your goodwill. Okay, so that would be the first feature. It is an intangible asset. We can just feel the goodwill. We can't see as well as touch. And the second one is it is an valuable asset. Of course, through which, why it is called as an valuable asset? Through goodwill, the profit is going to earn more profit or more return, correct? So, we are going to get some return through that particular goodwill. Next, third one is it is helpful in earning excess profit. So, as I told you, over and above the normal profit is called as goodwill. So, that when you earn more than your normal profit, that excess profit is called as what? Goodwill. Next is its value is liable to constant fluctuations. Now, if you calculate the depreciation, what happens? You will calculate either by straight line method or fluctuating capital method, where you can ascertain the goodwill, correct? Where you can ascertain the depreciation. But in case of goodwill, we can't ascertain the exact value of goodwill because it keeps on fluctuating. Your reputation keeps on fluctuating. Sometimes you will be very popular in the market, sometimes there is no popularity in the market. So based on that, your goodwill can be measured, correct? So it keeps on fluctuating. So while goodwill does not depreciate, its value is liable to constant fluctuations. So it keeps on changing. It is always present as a silent asset in the business where there are super profit more than the normal but declines in the value with the decline in earnings. So what you have to remember, just remember the sentence here, goodwill keeps on fluctuating, or the value of a goodwill cannot be measured properly because it keeps on fluctuating. Next one is, it is valuable only when entire business is sold. So when you are going to value the goodwill, when you are going to sell the business. So goodwill cannot be sold in part, it can be sold with the entire business only. The only exception is at the time of admission and retirement of a partner. When you are going to value the goodwill, only at the time or when the business is being sold, then only you can value the goodwill. There are certain exceptions where you can value the goodwill in case of admission as well as retirement of a partner. Next, it is difficult to place an exact value of goodwill. So I have already told you, like your normal assets where you are going to calculate the depreciation and you can find out the value of a particular asset. But in case of goodwill, you cannot find the exact value of goodwill. This is because its value may fluctuate from time to time due to changing circumstances which are internal and external to business, which can be controllable or non-controllable in nature, but the value of goodwill keeps on fluctuating. So you can't predict an exact value of goodwill. These were the features of goodwill. Okay, so there are 6 features of goodwill. Hope you have understood. Now you got an idea what is goodwill, what is the meaning of goodwill, and what is the definition of goodwill, and what are the various features of goodwill. Now moving on to the next important concept, that is factors affecting the value of goodwill. Very important question for 10 marks. Okay, so go through here. So let us see through what are all the factors which affects the value of goodwill. Okay, so which makes goodwill or which increases the exact profit or the over and above the normal profit. What would be the reason for increase in over and above the normal profit? So what are the factors that affects the value of goodwill? So it is clear from the above that the goodwill is the extra earning capacity of the business. Thus, all factors which help a firm in earning profit affects the goodwill of the firm. So let us see what are those factors. Following factors affects the value of goodwill of the firm. And the first one is favorable location of the business. Of course, it is very important. Location plays a very important role for each and every organization. Suppose if an organization is located in the rural areas where there is no proper transportation facilities or any other infrastructural facilities, then what happens? The demand for a particular product will be low. Thus, the goodwill will also be low. But if a business is situated in the center of the city, then what happens? Infrastructure facility will also be good. At the same time, the demand as well as sales of the product will also be more in the organization. So, if the business is located at a convenient or prominent place, it will attract more customers and thereby will have more goodwill. Of course, I have told you when there is no more demand for a particular product, when the sales are increasing, of course, the demand for product will also be more. At the same time, the profit level will also be more, and thus the goodwill also increases. Second one is efficiency of management. Of course, management or managerial decision plays a very important role in each and every organization. If a management efficiency is very good, then what happens? All the activities, managerial activity that takes place in a business will also be very good. In the same way, if the managerial ability or the managerial activities in the business is in a poor condition, so what happens? So your business will not run properly. So that ultimately affects the goodwill of the firm. If the business is run by experienced and efficient management, its profit will go on increasing, which results in increase in the value of goodwill. Of course, when we have a efficient as well as experienced managerial ability, who is having a managerial ability or the management structure, then what happens? Your business activity can be smoothly run, thereby your profitability will also increase. At the same time, gradually your goodwill also increases. Now coming to your third one, the longevity of the business. So what happens? So suppose if the business is there for a longer period of time. So I had given an example. That would be the best example where the goodwill is there for a longer period of time, where people are or the public is aware about the product, what they are producing, what the service they are going to render to the public. So that mainly affects the goodwill of the firm. Okay. So the longer or the older business is better known for its customers. Therefore, it is likely to have more goodwill. Of course, customer retention is very important in each and every organization. So we call it as customer is the god of the business, where if they stay long in a particular business, then what happens? Of course, the demand for a particular product will also be more. So when a business stays for a longer period of time, what happens? It will have more customers. It attracts more customers based on the quality of the product or the duration of the product, that is to what extent the product is being durable and to what long the customers are there in the business. So when a business enterprise has built up good reputation over a period of time, the number of customers will also be more in comparison to the new customers. So normally a business organization always wanted to retain their old customers. Because of them only, the goodwill of the organization drastically increases instead of searching the new customers. So they always want to retain the old customers. Next, the nature of goods. So this is also one of the important factor which affects the value of goodwill. So on what basis you are going to manufacture a particular product, whether it is a durable product or whether it is a daily use product, so whether it is a consumer product or not. So based on that also your goodwill increases. Okay. So if a business deals in a goods of daily use, it will have steady profit, as the demand for these goods will be stable. So normally when you are going to use a product on a daily basis, of course the demand for that particular product will be more. Okay. So suppose if the business organization is manufacturing such type of products, that is daily use products, the demand for the product will also be more and the customer will be aware of that particular brand what you are manufacturing. So, and if the quality as well as when it is given at a reasonable price, of course even the customers, attraction of customers will also be more. So such business will have more goodwill, but if it deals in a fancy goods, its profit will be uncertain and as such the value of goodwill will also be less. Suppose if you are going to produce a product where the customers are going to rarely use that product, then what happens? Your demand for that particular product drastically decreases because you can't attract more customers. So that is about your nature of goods. Next is possession of license. So suppose if a firm is holding a license, of course the goodwill of that particular organizations will be more. So if a firm holds an import license, the goodwill of the firm will be more, as it will be very difficult for other firms to enter this business in the absence of this license. Of course, most of the organization require license, correct? Suppose if an organization holds license and it have entered the market, then for other organizations it is difficult to enter the market without the license. So one who is holding or when there is a possession of license, of course such type of organization will have more goodwill. Next, monopolistic as well as other rights. Suppose if you manufacture a particular product where you don't have any other competitors, you are the single seller in the market, then of course the demand for the product will also be more. So what happens? Drastically your reputation also increases and thereby your goodwill also increases. If a business enjoys monopoly market, it will have assured profit. Similarly, if it holds some special rights such as patents, trademarks, copyrights or concessions, etc., it will have more goodwill. So always you have to think about your creativity. You should be totally unique from the other type of organization, or you have to manufacture a particular product where it is unique from other products. Then only you can attract the customers. So such type of organizations will have more goodwill. Next is risk involved. So if there is more risk involved in the business, the value of goodwill will be less. Here if you take the word risk here for a business, risk means what? Loss. Suppose if your organization is in loss from many years, what happens? So you are not able to retain your business in the market because all around there are competitors, and if you are continuously incurring loss in your business, so what happens? You can't retain in the market. So such type of business will have less goodwill, because when your business is in a loss, you can't attract the investors. At the same time, your investment will also go down. At the same time, your manufacturing process will also go down. Even the profitability will also go down. So thereby what happens? Your goodwill also decreases. Next, trend of profit. Suppose if you compare your profit from one year to another year, so if it is moving upward, then what happens? Even it creates a positive impact in the minds of customers, correct? So which means that the demand for your product is more because of your creativity, quality, as well as reasonable price. So if the profit of the business are increasing continuously, the value of its goodwill will be more. If the profits are declining, or if the profits are uncertain, the value of goodwill will be less. Of course, it is a simple concept. It is understood that, so you can easily understand this. So suppose if your profit level is going upward, so what happens? It means that it creates a positive impact in the minds of customers, thinking that this organization is doing well in the market. Suppose if your profit level is going declining, which means that there is certain changes you have to make in the organization, which creates a negative impact in the minds of customers as well as public. Thereby your goodwill decreases. Next, future competition. The likelihood or possibility of increased competition in future would definitely reduce the value of goodwill. Suppose if you have more competitors, so you are not able to come out from that competition, then what happens? So it creates a negative impact in the business, thereby your goodwill decreases. So you should have a healthy competition, or you should be in a position to face the competitors. So suppose if you are going back in respect of your competitors, so what happens? Your goodwill decreases. Next is capital required. So the amount of capital required for a business will also influence the value of goodwill. If two business enterprise the same rate of profit, the business with lesser capital requirement shall enjoy more goodwill. Now what happens? Suppose if you take two organizations, A Limited and B Limited, and both have invested 10 lakh rupees, and A Limited is earning both the organization is earning 10 lakh rupees profit, and A organization have invested 15 lakh and B Limited have invested only 8 lakh, but still it is earning 10 lakh profit. So what happens here? So I just mean to tell you that if the capital is more and the profit is less, or if the organization have invested, or if the organization are earning same profit but the investment is different. Suppose if an organization who have invested more capital and earning only the same profit than that of the other firm who have invested less capital. So what happens? The goodwill of the firm for B Limited will be more. Why? Because it has invested less capital and earning more profit when compared to the other one. Correct? So this would be the exact reason. So this sentence means that if two business enterprise earn the same rate of profit, the profit earning ratio will be same. The business with lesser capital requirement. So who will have more goodwill? The organization who have invested less capital and earning more profit, they will have the goodwill. So it is dead waste if you are investing more and earning less. So that would be a dead waste where your goodwill decreases. So which firm will have more goodwill? Which have invested less capital and earning more profit. So, capital required also is one of the factors that influence the goodwill. Now, let us see the other factors here. So, good industrial relations. Now, suppose if the organization is having a healthy relationship with the other industries, okay, so then also your goodwill will be more. Favorable government regulations, so it is external in nature. Your government regulations are external in nature, and if the government regulations are in favor of the organization, then your goodwill increases. Stable political environment. So this is also your stable political conditions. So this is also external environment in which a business organization deals with, where suppose if the political condition is stable and it is in favor of your organization, your goodwill will be more. Next, research and development efforts. Suppose if the organization is investing amount in research and development activities where it is going to or where is coming through extra or innovative products, then such type of organization will have more goodwill, who is innovative in nature. Effective advertising to establish brand popularity. Of course, we have to spend lot of money for the advertisement purpose as well as promotional activities. Suppose if the organization is having a good advertisement as well as your promotional activity is very good, such type of organizations will have more goodwill because your brand will be popular throughout the world and each and every people or each and every public will be knowing about your product through advertisement. So thereby the demand for the product will also be more, the profitability will also increases, at the same time gradually your goodwill also increases. Next, popularity of product in terms of quality. Of course, now every customers wanted the quality of a particular product and they expect that quality product has to be given at reasonable price. So that would be the main intention of the customers. So suppose if the organizations are producing quality product at reasonable price, of course the overall goodwill of the organization also increases because through word of mouth, so everybody will come to know about the quality of the product and about your brand also. So thereby the goodwill of a particular product increases. So this is what about goodwill. So a very important question, a theory question might ask in your question paper. So you have to learn the meaning of goodwill, characteristics of goodwill, as well as very important question, factors affecting the value of goodwill. Now coming to the next concept, we have methods of valuation of goodwill. So mainly there are three methods: average profit method, super profit method and capitalization method. So what is this average profit method? So there is a formula: value of goodwill is equal to average profit into number of years purchased. So this is your formula of average profit method. Second one is super profit method, where your formula of goodwill will be goodwill is equal to super profit into number of year of purchase. Now how to find out the super profit? First you have to find out the normal profit. So normal profit is equal to capital invested into normal rate of return divided by 100. So thereby you will get the normal profit. And super profit is equal to actual or average profit minus normal profit. Then you'll get super profit. So by calculating super profit, you will come to know, or you can calculate the goodwill. Goodwill is equal to super profit into number of years of purchase. Next, your third type is your capitalization method, where you can calculate by two ways, super profit method as well as average profit method. And a super profit method is equal to super profit divided by normal rate of return into 100, and average profit method is equal to average profit into 100 divided by normal rate of return minus capital employed. So this is just a formula. In my next class, I am going to discuss about the problems, what they have asked in your question paper. In one of the year, they have asked for 10 marks. So a question on calculation or valuation of goodwill. Okay. So just know the formulas under three methods, that is average profit method, super profit method and capitalization method. So this is all about your goodwill. So my dear students, hope you have understood today's session. See you all in my next session with a new concept. Till then, take care. Thank you.